Barrett, Fern Green, Jim Steinbeck, Diane Burke. Come around this way. Mary Williams, Mary Lou Mitchell, Jackie Russo, Kay Wojcik, Linda Ramitz, John Gottlieba, Dan Caparuso, Susan Carey, Tom Pulitzer.
That was 6 months. I was off for 6 months.
Jim Holder, Paul Sorcy, Bunny Kaywood, Eileen Fager,
All right, so tell me.
Jim Shaw, Barb Shaw, Carolyn Dolores Moody, Zeke, Roseanne McElroy, Mark Elias, he's in the Paragon guy. I haven't talked to him. Joyce Richards, Marianne Calder, Lynette Hansen, Christine Hines, Bill Davis, Linda Phillips, Judy O'Connor, Joe Jaworski, Bill Murray, Cal Pearson.
No, that was Charlie.
Are we all supposed to say our names?
Well, I've been saying them, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who she is. Who is that?
P.S. I'll be there at the 50th anniversary. And the last one.
We've already had our 100.
Oh my goodness, Dick Rutledge.
All right.
Remember Dick Rutledge? Wow.
Mr. Severe, we broke him down, Diane.
so.
Hey, Bonnie, we broke Rutledge
I
down.
received your note telling of the planned Q&TReunion reunion. Just the thought of it brings back so many pleasant memories.
Did we not break
Those were wonderful times and the people were the best.
days with Dick Rutledge?
I wouldn't miss the reunion if I were around, but I'll be in Florida.
Yeah.
But I'll be there in spirit.
All right.
And on the evening of February 4th, my wife and I will drink a toast to the health and happiness of every one of you.
Sounds like Rutledge. That's Rutledge.
I'm in regular touch with Dan Caparuso. We go fishing in Canada together every year. So he'll bring me up to date on the happy event. Have a wonderful time, and thanks for sending me an invitation. Please give my best regards to all in attendance.
All right, Dick. All right. Poor Dick.
Well, we'd make it complete if we had a letter from Bill Martin. Remember Bill Martin? Oh, that would have been great.
I was at a dinner with Dick Rutledge.
Is that right?
All right, this part of the evening we're going to talk about stories. Do we have any stories? Quillen Tyson, stories. QT, the oblong egg. Let me see. I've already told one story. That was another one. Well, I have a heartwarming little story, though. On a more serious note, Quillen and Tyson has been like a family. Our Line Tonight's office has always been like a family. And what really touched my heart years ago was when my wife became seriously ill with cancer. And I'm telling you, the office was like a family. They nurtured me and got me through a very, very tough time. And I'll never forget that. And that's why I came today. So, anyway. Now, I'm going to open the floor to anybody else who has any stories, anything. Even the Schaumburg party. Come on up, Mark.
Oh, my God, the Schaumburg party. Mark looks more like Bill Martin than I do.
That Mark. Well, I have to talk.
Were you watching, Dan?
Yeah, I did. I saw that. You remember? That's great.
You gotta pull it all the time.
You like that too much.
Mark was brand new with our office, and he came to the Q&T breakfast. I think it was in Northbrook. I think we had a Q&T breakfast in Northbrook. Do you remember? Oh, Al Gowers. Okay, we're at Al Gowers. It snowed that morning. And some of us got there and almost never got back home. But I think Mark got some award that day.
Right. I got the most listing award for our office that day. It was the first time I ever got an award for anything.
Okay, that's all. I'll jump in a minute. Okay. And so, so Mark got his award and jumped up to the stage, and Bill Martin said,
He said my daughter is looking for a condo out in Buffalo Grove land. And I said to him, I have the perfect condo for you. Let me give you my business card. I gave him his business card, and the whole place went up in an uproar. One day, Bill Martin came in with his daughter into the office. Bob Griffith.
Bob Griffith. You made me get up here. Bob Griffith kind of jumped out of his office and ran up to the front door to meet Bill Martin and his daughter, and he was wearing his buffalo belt. And he was so happy to see Bill Martin, and he was all kind of puffed up, you know. And he strolled up to the front of the office and said, how are you doing there, Bill?
And Bill Martin, I felt you're Gracie and I'm Alan. Anyways. Whatever. So anyways, so Bill Martin reached in his pocket and he said, I am here to see Mark Elias. He has his condo for my daughter. So Bob's looking, yes, Mark, get over here. And I figure I'm in trouble. I didn't know what was going on. And he says, will you go into the office and get out the listing that you have for Bill Martin's daughter? I said, sure. Joanne, help! What do I do? And she said, well, what's that listing that you were talking about for his daughter? I said, I don't know, I just made it up. I figured they were qualified. Because she always told me, make sure they're qualified.
And I told him at least she has good backing, you know. But Bob was probably a little out of sorts, but he handed him over to Mark, and Mark and I sold her condo. That's the end of the story.
On Arlington Heights. So guess what? He referred it to me. From Buffalo Grove to Arlington.
I didn't know where Arlington Heights was. She saw him, I got her.
Oh, maybe somebody's, uncomfortable standing up here. Did anybody remember, at the Q&T banquets, like in Northbrook at the Al Gowers, there was one person that, you sit and you wait, and she gets these big silver trays. And she was always number one.
First. City first.
I figured when she was born, that's what her parents said. She's first, Those are married names? Jenny Phil?
Push the button. Do it. It's on that. Okay, talk right into it. Yeah.
Well, I came from Glenville to Peloton, and I didn't even know there was a 53. I knew there was an 83, but I didn't know anything existed beyond 53. So my first day in the office, I was in a Peloton office and looking at the map, and I said, does anybody know where Winston Park is? And I heard this low groan throughout the whole office. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell a Tom Freck story. Y'all remember Tom Freck? I was disappointed to hear that he wasn't going to be here, so I'll tell the Tom Freck story. He had many, but this is one of the few that I can actually tell. He went on tour one day alone, and he pulled up to the open house sign. It was the Thursday Peloton tour. He pulled up and he went in the house, and opened the front door, and this little woman was there, foreign speaking. She was talking. He said, "That's all right. That's all right. Your house is on tour today. Your house is on tour." And so he proceeded to go through the house, and he went upstairs, goes into the master bedroom, and out comes the woman from the bathroom and starts screaming, you know. And he was obviously in the wrong house.
Correct. Since he's not here to defend himself, Tom was my floor partner. And you all remember Grace Sullivan.
Oh, yes.
Grace, who had how many children, Marion? 7, 8. But very embarrassed about a lot of things. And Grace was about this tall and kind of carried her books like this and kind of walked through the office. Tom and I were on the last shift, and we got to talking about this place that he had in Michigan. So Tom had this life-size map of Michigan that he spread out on the floor. So the two of us are crawling on the floor, looking at the map, trying to find the place that he had. And it's got to be 8 o'clock at night at least. We didn't close till 9. Deader than a doornail. And Grace walked in. And she looks at the two of us laying on the floor. And we both kind of went, "Grace, we're on the floor." She got red as a beet and just went walking to her desk and never looked at us again.
I'm just so sorry Tom isn't here to hear all these wonderful memories that we have of him. This is a Tom Fred story also.
Talk right into the
We
microphone.
always had our office meetings, and she always wore a high neck because she would turn red whenever she had our office meetings. And one day we had an office meeting, and so she also had to get a drink of water always before she had her office meeting. So she went over to the water cooler and she screamed bloody murder, and Tom had put goldfish and in the water cooler, and she turns around and she says, "Tom Brock, where are you?" I'm sorry he isn't here.
What was it, the closet story?
The bathroom story.
The bathroom story. I think this is the one. Kathy Carbo came in one day very angry and, you know, said a few words that kind of out of line as far as Beverly was concerned. And she said, "You never show emotion or anger in this office. Do you have any? You go in the bathroom and let it out there. You know, yell, do whatever you want, but not in the office." So Mary Jane Cole came in. She was really frustrated, very upset, and she walked in the office, flung open the bathroom door, and said, "Oh, shit!" And there was a customer in the bathroom.
In the party. I think I have to get up and talk about how I grew up. I was pretty much of a matriarch and a very severe lady when I came to Quinlan and Tyson. I didn't understand all this folly of parties and things like that because I probably was very Victorian. There were two ladies in the office that used to read this magazine called Playgirl. Playgirl. They came into my life at a certain time. I chastised them, I cajoled, I did everything that would make them be embarrassed for the fact that they were reading it. All of a sudden I found out that every month I had this beautiful display in my memo package. And no one admitted to who did it. Tonight they told me they were the ones. So I grew up with them a little bit. So I'm no longer your mother. I'm now your aunt.
I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was embarrassing.
We're talking about
Right to the microphone.
We're talking about going on tour. And we always had fun. So purpose. Closer to my mouth? Yeah. And I got a big mouth.
Be careful.
Anyway, we always had fun. We toured constantly. And I think Linda, Bob, and our office was a touring office. I think we did Palatine, Arlington, Mount Prospect. I mean, you name it, we were always touring. We were in Palatine this one day, and we're in Hunting Ridge, and Helen Curry was there, Linda was there, Bob Griffith was there, and a couple others. Anyway, Helen, he always liked to tickle Helen. So this was a split level. So Bob went down there first, and there was a big, huge bear rug in front of the fireplace.
So he runs there and goes under this bear rug. So Helen's coming down the stairs, and you've got to figure she's 5 foot tall, and she's tip, 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 and she gets down there, and all of a sudden he's going, Helen always squeaks. She goes, and we're all of a sudden we're laughing like crazy because we're all stunned because we didn't know what he was up to. But Bob did this constantly. One time we were on tour, he goes into the shower, and I'm looking at the bathroom. All of a sudden, who's here? You know, and things like that. So we had fun. We always loved to tour.
Kaywood, tell them about the Christmas party.
Oh, Christmas parties?
Yeah, Schaumburg, when you went to the Christmas party.
With you?
Yeah. Go ahead, tell them.
Well, we always had really great Christmas parties. And this particular year, Kay Wojcik, our state representative.
No, Q&T Cutie.
Right, that's right. Involved in politics, faithful Republican. And she says, okay, Kaywood, after the Q&T party, I got to go to this Republican party. Come with. I said, I'm a Democrat. She says, well, don't tell them. So I pack in the bag, we get over there, and we have, they're serving Swedish glug. Now, if anybody ever drank Swedish glug, it'll kill you. So I had 2 glasses of that, sat on Santa's lap, and I says, I got a secret for you. Santa says, what's that? I says, I'm a Democrat.
You said it more explicitly.
More explicitly, of course. But we had a ball. She kept trying to shut me up, not to tell everybody in this Republican Party that she brought a Democrat to the party.
God forbid.
Yeah, we had a ball. We really had a ball.
We did.
I'll tell you somewhere, we had fun in our office constantly. If it wasn't tour, it was playing jokes on the managers and streaking. One time, Bunny Clancy came from Florida, got Mickey Mouse shirts, and for her and I. And Marv Camps was our manager. I think Dan was salesperson at the time. Were you not, Dan? And so we decided streaking was in. Now, you know how many years back that was. So at that time, I was real thin, and Bunny was real heavy. So we stripped down pantyhose, and we just had these Mickey Mouse shirts and Mickey Mouse hats. So we came in the back door. Our office was on 1714 East Northwest Highway, so we just came in the back door, and he's having the meeting. And Marv, when he would have a meeting, he waved like this. So he was up in the front talking, and then Bunny and I came through the back, and we go, streak, and we start walking. Well, I'm thinner, and I'm running like this, but Bunny was heavier, and she's going like this. Everybody was just hysterical watching that. And I used to be her backup. Bunny was doing a whole lot of business, and she had the support of her family, and etc. So I was always her backup. And the one year I said, Bunny, I can't handle it. I said, I need some help. So in the meantime, she got me a helper. So this guy's been around for about 18 years now, I think. And I brought him today just to show you who my helper is. This is my helper. She was in San Francisco, and she brought this little guy for me. So what I've done with it, every year we've had a Christmas party. I wrap them up in a different package every year, and the newest person in our office gets to meet the streaker. Yeah, but you know what? A lot of the people did, and that's what some of them said, bring him along because he's part of the family, of the Q&T family. We've had him every year, and so anytime there's a new gal that comes up, she'll go into shock, and then we'll say, we'll take another gift. This is the Phantom. We'll give more gifts to her. I never saw him before.
I actually have 2 stories. I have a Buffalo Grove story and a Schaumburg story. I don't know. You tell me. Anyway, those people in the Buffalo Grove office will remember there was a fairly new agent. I think at the time her name was Maxine Davis.
Oh, yes.
Great.
There you go.
Sorry. Anyway, Bob Griffith used to have these like military meetings. You know, we call our meetings, and everyone had to be. And I missed that day. Okay. But shortly after the meeting was over, everybody went out on tour in a big group. And the group went out touring that day, and I think it was summertime, if you remember this count. But it seems that some homeowner's cat kind of ran out in the street Well, it's kind of funny, but it's not funny. Anyway, the cat was shortly thereafter run over by one of the tour vehicles. Okay. So Bob, in his militaristic manner, organized search parties to canvass the neighborhood for listings and also to find the owner of the cat. So I guess they had a little Mike Berry script or something and went door to door, you know. Said, you used to have a cat that looked like this. Now, so anyway, they did find the owner of the cat and they had to carry it. It was kind of sad. I mean, if it was a pet, obviously. But the whole office over there, you remember you were out going door to door asking if they had a cat. And then, of course, there was the Schaumburg, infamous Schaumburg open house party.
Nothing like
You see, at the time, the company was in a state of flux, of change, I guess you would say. It was kind of the North Shore tradition against what was happening in the northwest suburbs and so forth. So this was all kind of a new thing for them. These, you know, they're pretty much up to that point. They're pretty much used to tea parties and things like that. So we had a little different idea out northwest. Well, I think there was some of that. I don't remember a whole well. Anyway, fortunately,
the Schaumburg parties had prostitutes. No,
Wait a minute.
Anyway, thank God for John Kotliba, because you see, I didn't have to take the heat for the whole thing. Now, there was one individual who was employed by Mr. Kotliba in the Bartlett office, of which he was the manager, you see, and we'll just make up a name like Smith or something. We don't want to reveal his identity. So anyway, this individual was slightly overserved, as were some others at the party. It turned out to be one of the most expensive parties in the history of the company. But it went on my profit and loss statement. When Sue got the bill, she was free. We had to shove those over years. We had to amortize them over years, period of years, still paying them. So anyway, this person was overserved, and the owners of the company had suggested, along with others, that John remove this individual from the party so as not to offend some of the, I mean, there was presidents of other companies, dignitaries, governors, I mean, everyone was there. Anyway, so John took this individual home. Now, this individual happened to live very close to the Schaumburg office.
And it was raining.
And it was raining. And Schaumburg has all that black earth, okay. Now, he lived up the hill from the office in the woods of Schaumburg, okay. So, John took him home, put him in his house, and came back to the party. Next thing we know, an individual came into the office in a three-piece suit, dressed very nicely, I might add. There was kind of a line down the middle. This side of him was all black, and this side was all clean. And one of his shoes had come off in the mud, back in the field down the hill. So throughout the office, there was this one big black footprint all the way down to one side. So the next week when we had a retreat up in Lake Geneva, we were cornered by the president of the company. A nice letter from Dick today. He had a talk with John and I together, so that helped. So I just pointed to Nichols and mine associate. Anyway, that way the heat was kind of spread out over two people, but it was really my fault. And that's all I have to say.
And we were at the Marriott in, where's that, Park Ridge or? I'm coming in there, Rosemont, whatever. And I think it was a state convention, and
We had a hospitality suite.
maybe we did, I don't know, we were leaving, you know, late at night, 1 in the morning or something, and Kay and I happened to be leaving at the same time, and we get out, and there's a guy getting in his car, valet, you know, and all this kind of stuff, and he starts talking to us, what are you guys doing, where are you from, and all that. We told him we're in real estate. We tell everybody back then, right? Now we kind of, you know, we can choose, we can tell. But, you know, we told everybody then. And he says, well, why don't you two come to my, let's have a drink, you know. I've got a business here in Elk Grove. Come over there, you know, we'll have a drink. So anything goes back then, you know. So we went into Elk Grove into his office, and the guy starts serving us drinks, and then he gets out his accordion and he starts playing his accordion. So we're wondering, what the hell are we doing here? You know? So we get kind of worried, and the furniture was dusty, and I like wrote my name in the dust just in case we came up dead or something, and they would trace us back. I mean, you know, that's how you think at, you know, 2, 3 in the morning. So finally, you know, we left. Everything was okay, and I'm going home. I'm going down to Meacham, and I turn right on Schaumburg Road. It's got to be 4 or 5 in the morning, and I see there's nobody, you know, no traffic, and there's this car waiting to make a left turn. I recognize it was this friend of mine's car, and I thought, where the hell is he going at 5 in the morning? You know, so I stopped my car right there, roll the window down. He says, you know, Bill, where are you going? He says, well, your wife called me. And you know what happened? When we left the Marriott, the guy had a car phone. Now, this is way back when. That was unusual. I called my wife, as a good husband would do, and let her know that I was proceeding on somewhere else. And she thought, you know, what is this guy calling? A car? You know, who calls from a car? You know, whatever this was, you know, in the late 70s.
Right.
And so she got worried at 5 in the morning, I guess, called this friend of mine, and he went out looking for me. So here I meet him. I says, no, I'm okay, you know, go back home. So here we are, we made it,
But
right?
our mistake was waiting for the car, because that's how that all happened, because he had the car phone.
That's right, we were waiting for the cars.
For our cars, they were to bring us our cars, and this guy had the car with the car phone, and we were very impressed by this, and he said, here, make a phone call.
Anything to make a sale. You know, just to finish up on that Schaumburg open house with that alias Mr. Smith, you know, the next day I get a phone call from, I don't know, it was Griff that was the regional at the time. Says, get rid of that guy. He's gonzo, you know. I said, come on, Bob, you know. He had a couple too many, you know, no big deal, you know. So he said, no, he's gone. So then I called, whoever was next, I called Bill Martin, I think, you know, pleaded my case to him. No, wouldn't work. And I called Dick Rutledge. I just kept going. They all said, thumbs down, you know, he's gone. So, poor guy. But the guy's on the wagon now, and he's doing fine.
Good.
So, which is about 3 feet deep across the whole damn thing, you know. And we're going along, and it was in the summertime. My cruiser was there, and Murph, you were there, right? Joe Gleason. Who else? But old Joe. The manager was overserved. Yeah, he was crawling all over. What? No, it wasn't. Yeah, and he's hitting on everybody that he could. On my wife, actually, he was hitting, you know, on the side. Yeah, but I figured he couldn't do anything if she took her clothes off, for crying out loud. He was so wiped out. So I think shortly after he was gone too, right? You're right about the tea parties, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Please, can we do 6% listings? The North Shore does. All right, who's next?
That's good, John. That was good.
I'm very disappointed that Bunny Pulaski isn't here. Does anybody remember when Bunny got her new Oldsmobile? Any of my old Arlington Heights, the gray olds? Well, anyway, we decided to go on tour, and a whole bunch of us went, and we got to a very old house on St. James in Arlington Heights, and everybody went in at one time. It was a 2-story house. We went upstairs, we went down, and Gloria Kevorkian and I were the last ones to leave the house. As we go to walk out of the house, we couldn't get out. It had one of those old doorknobs, and we're going like this, and nothing's happening, and we were locked in this house. The girls all went into Bunny Pulaski's car because she was showing them how great her new stereo was, and she had it full blast. In the meantime, we're pounding on the doors, screaming out the windows, and in the back of the house was a screened porch with a dog. And this dog was bound determined that we were not going to get out the front or the back door, okay? We finally scooted around the door, got around the dog, got outside, and it had one of these fences with the crisscross, like barbed wire almost. And we're screaming outside. Finally, I said, you know, Gloria, you've got slacks on. I have a skirt. Put your foot in my hand. I'll boost you up. Get over the fence, and then you can get them to you know, be in this.
Gentlemen, by
and especially you're in mind. You've been told that our name is solid gold, and the reason is that when you list with us, it gets sold. We understand you trust what we do, and so today we want to thank you. Oh, Dodie, oh, you can see, and your friends will all agree that the only name to call upon is our Q&T.